Being alone does not mean being lonely. Does not mean you're weird, and it does not mean that you're in need of a significant other in your life. This is mainly geared towards women, but I think there may be some men out there who may appreciate my thoughts as well. My name is Terry, and I have been happily single since 2014. And I'm here today mainly because I watched a video the other day in regards to a psychologist saying what makes or breaks a person who, especially a woman, who wants to be alone. And I think everybody's situation is different. And this is just my take on my situation. I'm 55 years old, a proud Gen Xer, been divorced since 2010, did date a guy for off and on for a couple years after that, and that one turned out to be worse than my marriage ever thought about being. But my marriage was mainly my ex-husband's job did keep him out of town for up to 6 days a week, which left me with 3 small children at the time to take care of, broken bones, school, meals, the whole 9 yards, everything and everything. And then when I left him, I thought, well, I'll find someone who does want something a little more traditional. And, well, again, that one turned out to be a mitigated disaster, and we won't even go there. But I did learn afterwards that being alone really wasn't so bad. Now, I'm not going to downplay anybody's situation. Everybody's situation is different, whether by necessity or circumstances or choice. But this is my take on what I think being alone and being lonely, the difference is. Now, I'm not saying that being alone isn't lonely. It can be very lonely. Sometimes I'd love to have someone to snuggle up with in bed at night. But that's what dogs are for, right? Or cats, or whatever the case may be. But it's not the same, and neither is just having children the same. But there is a freedom that I didn't understand when it first happened to me, that I don't have to answer to anybody. Now, having to answer to somebody isn't bad either, but at the same time, I don't have someone, why aren't you home yet? Why did you go where you did? Why did you spend that money? Now, I am fortunate in the fact that I live in a low cost of living area, and circumstances with my family have allowed me to live even more cheaply than other people in my town. So I'm not going to prop myself on the back or anything like that. I'm just saying that my situation might be completely different than yours. But this isn't about finances. This isn't about anything like that. This is more of, I think people need to understand that just because a woman especially chooses to be alone, it's not because she's lacking something. It's because she may have discovered something that a lot of people wish they would be able to find. There is an inner peace where if you want to read a book or just hang out outside or take your dog for a walk, if your dishes didn't get done, well, they'll still be there, but there's nobody going, why didn't you do the dishes? And if your laundry doesn't get done, well, there's always time for that later as well. If you just want to play a game on your phone or write a book or watch a movie, that's a big one. How many times have you been with somebody and you could not decide on the movie? This isn't the 1980s anymore when you could go to the movie. You had 2 choices and chances are one of them wasn't even remotely interesting to either one of you, so that was the movie you went to. Nowadays, with streaming, Roku, Prime, Disney Plus, YouTube, there's a million different options every single day of the week. And it's your choice. It's not somebody else's choice, and you have to be okay with it. You get to watch the movie that you want to watch. And if it turns out to be bad, well, then it's on you. And hobbies. Now, I'm the type of person who likes to jump around with my hobbies, but at the same time, when I start something and don't finish it, there's nobody who is going to give me a guilt trip except for myself. And trust me, I am very hard on myself. Now, do I get called weird? Oh, definitely. A lot of people think I am weird, but then again, I am. I'm sitting here in my living room, but I am actually just hanging out talking to you today. But I am actually a very weird person. I have, I don't drink coffee. I only drink soda. I have really bad eating habits. And I'm really frugal with my money. I work in retail and love the people, but at the same time, when the day is done, I'm ready to just come home and just be done. Now, I'm also very much introverted, where I do like it quiet, and I watch TV and play video games just like a 20-something. And again, I do have 3 grown children, one of which does live with me, but because it's my house, it's my rules, and so I still get to pick the movie that's on if he's here. And I like dogs, and I'm okay with cats. I'm not really into sports, never have been, but my daughter was an athlete. But enough about me. This is about being okay with being alone. Never, ever tell anyone or let anyone tell you that being alone is weird, that you need somebody, that you have to be with somebody. Now, I wanted to get into more depth about this, but I think you get the main gist. Always be you. A good, moral, Christian background does help. Where if you really do need something, and I struggled. Oh my God, did I struggle? There were times when I had 2 pennies to scratch together, and still had my children. I had a hard time finding a job when I got divorced because of the circumstances. I didn't actually work because I was always with my children, and so I didn't have any kind of resume whatsoever. But you know what? Now I'm sitting with a nice little bank account, a good job. All my bills are paid. I have 3 bills left to pay for the month of May, and they add up to less than $100. If you really buckle down, just always remember, there's always tomorrow. There's always an opportunity to start over. I'm going to leave it there today. I didn't want to get into more, but I think you get the idea. Never, ever, ever let anyone tell you that being alone is not okay. If you need help, of course there are resources, and don't feel afraid to reach out to somebody. But at the end of the day, there is a strength of being able to be okay with being alone. Always remember that. And always remember too, if you have God and Jesus in your life, you are never alone. He's always watching over you. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for your time. Bye-bye.